Hi, and welcome to our second day of special edition of Saddle Up. We're here at Hunters Run Farm again on a beautiful day in Metamora, and I'm going to show you a little bit more of an eventing competition, and this is our last day of show jumping. First, I'm going to take you out on the cross-country course, which we didn't quite finish up yesterday, and we're going to walk the rest of the beginner-novice course, and I'll show you a variety of fences, and we'll head on up then to the show jumping arena and see the final competition for the day. So here we are up on cross-country again. Today it's quite quiet. We have the whole run of the place without getting run over by the galloping horses. So we have a good chance to see a little bit of some different sized fences. Right here we have a preliminary coffin complex, they would call this, because there's a fence, a ditch, and a fence. These are on an angling line, which can or can't make this a little bit easier or more difficult depending on your horse, and that's something that the rider, when walking the course, will determine. How it is flagged A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3 will determine your options on the getting through this obstacle. Whether you can make a circle in front of the ditch after this big log, or you have to come straight through. This was ridden at this particular show where you had to, the minute you jumped the log, you had to proceed to the ditch, and you had to proceed to the little narrow, we call the little arrowhead out. Over on the right you have the opposite, and we have the smallest fence on course, and this is number 7 here. This was the starter division, which is a new division in the eventing world, which is just beginning giving the people and their horses a chance to just see what galloping over uneven ground is about. They put in very small fences, so the fences themselves aren't intimidating, but it's just learning to canter across ground or trot across ground that is not level. It's a wonderful way to introduce your horse to a show atmosphere without the stress of a bigger fence. The horse could jump a bigger fence, but they take it down a little bit to keep the whole scenario easier for the horse and the rider. We also have out here a novice fence and a beginner novice fence. The colors denoting the novice being the white with the black, and the beginner novice the yellow with the black letters. So different degrees, beginner novice, novices are bigger. We have a training fence over here. So over here we have a training combination into the water, which we may have gotten a little bit yesterday. This coop to a log drop into water is our training question, and those are black squares with white letters or numbers. We're going to walk on to the backfield, and I'll show you a few more elements that are involved in eventing. So as we walk out to the back field, I'm going to be following a line off of one of the fences that the horses were galloping on yesterday. The riders are walking this ground a number of times to get not only sort of taking into account if there's a rock or little holes or swales in the ground, the riders really get to know this ground, and they will ride exactly that path when they leave the start box. Sort of subconsciously, you just find that ground that you've walked so many times. It's very important to know the ground that you're galloping on, and they do a lot of work on trying to ensure a good galloping lane for the horses by aerating the ground and putting little holes with water into the earth, and also putting sand and things where there might be a rocky trail where this may have had some rocks on it. They've put in a little bit of material to help make as good of a track as possible. So here we are approaching a tricaner for the training level. So our little pony Cody, our little black and white pony that my daughter rides, rode this yesterday. It's the first time he'd ever jumped a Trakehner. This is kind of a rider's mental kind of a fence. There's a big ditch in here, and what the rider does not want to do is look down into that. You go where you look. So we like to say, you know, you're looking beyond, throw your heart over the fence and you will follow. So looking down is going to send you downwards, and have your horse also look downwards. So this is a fence that's going to be ridden with a pretty strong kind of gallop up the hill, nose up and on. And Aaron really commented how big and lovely Cody jumped this fence. These jump quite well, even though they can look a little intimidating to the rider. More of a rider fence than a horse problem. We're going to move off now to the banks. We're now approaching the bank complex. Banks can be jumped both up and down. In the training level course, we have a fence in front of the banks. They've made this a little bit nicer for the training level horse because it's not a very big fence and it's far enough away, but what happens is the banks, when the horse sort of sights the banks, there's a tremendous amount of pushback to him, and you'll have a silly refusal at this first fence, even though there's really nothing much about this fence except that where he's going. So this is to be ridden quite strong but not fast and open, so that you can get in over this fence and you have a few strides to really sort yourself out on the way to our little log and drop. And this is just a single drop down. You can see a lot of the ground kind of being really kind of churned up here because the horses really kind of get into the earth as they take a leap off. We have over here, so this is just a single jump, we have a double bank and we have a triple bank down. We've also got the terrain. This course is very well known for the difficulty just due to the terrain that these horses are galloping on. So you've got not only the fence, but you have a hill that you're now going to be running down, or if you were coming up this combination, it would be up the hill, having enough power to get up the bank and then onto your fence. So this is another sort of question that horses sometimes have to really be schooled over quite a bit so they get very confident in jumping up and down banks. Hi, and welcome to the final edition of Saddle Up.
Hi, welcome back to Billiard Temple CrossFit. I'm your personal trainer.
Now, the perch just weren't here naturally. Something brought them here.
Welcome back to Daybreak with Susan and Joe, and we're going to wrap up our session here today and talk a little bit about water.
So we're currently looking at a corner, and this fence is a very narrow, jumpable part of this fence. You can see the whole face of it, but the whole face of it is not going to be jumpable for the horse because it gets too wide. So they've given the horse a little help and the rider a little help by putting in a flower planter and a tree here so the horse won't run out or try to jump an impossible part of this fence, which makes the jumpable part of this fence very narrow. So accuracy is very important. This is a preliminary fence. You'll see a smaller, more friendly version of this at the training level, but when you get to prelim, it's more serious. So we have this is our corner. This is the part of this fence that would be jumped, and we're going to show you a big table right now. And right over here to our right this is either a preliminary table or an intermediate table. They used to run an intermediate division here, which is the next level up from preliminary, and the division after that is advanced. We've never had an advanced course here. Very expensive to build an advanced course, very expensive to build any of these courses, but just not enough competitors at that level to warrant building a course that big. But as you can see, this is a pretty sizable table. A cross-country horse, as you can gather by now, has to be quite bold. He has to be an independent thinker, not totally always 100% guided by the rider, although he does need to listen to the rider for sure, as the rider knows what the course is, knows the kind of balance and pace and power that needs to be had before the jump arrives. So sometimes you get a headstrong horse that is a little bit too independent, and the riders have a hard time getting the horse in balance to jump the jump that the riders know is on ahead, that the horses just want to run. But that bold individual is a cross-country horse, and not every horse has that sort of independence and boldness. You can start at the lower levels. What's wonderful about eventing is you can find out every horse can do the lower levels, but some excel as a dressage horse. They just don't want to leave the ground and jump. They do very well in a ring where they know their surroundings, they know the game. A cross-country horse, again, is that bold individual. And then we're going to be heading down to see the stadium part of this phase, which now requires our horses to be obedient in our dressage, to be bold and big and strong and very athletic for our cross country. Now he has to come back on the third and final phase of the day and become elastic and really responsive to the rider, obedient again, but have that athleticism and that ability to now come in and jump big fences that fall down. And every rail counts, and it can make the difference from being in first to being knocked out of the ribbons. So we'll head on down to the stadium now. So here is our pulse magnetic machine. Works on electricity, and it's magnets that are electrified. And I'll let Cindy Peischer explain how this machine works.
Well, pulse magnetic therapy resets the magnetic field within cells. Healthy cells need a well-balanced magnetic field, and unhealthy cells go negative. And so once the cell is reset, it carries on protein synthesis, a lot of oxygen is passing through. During treatment, circulation is improved, and so it's used on people as well as horses to become healthier.
And this is just part of our aftercare from events, or just daily wear and tear and use on both our animals and our humans. All right, so Levi will give us a little demonstration as to this is his pre. We also can use this pre-event. So Levi's getting ready to go stadium, and he ran a really good cross country yesterday. So to check his body and muscles, Cindy will perform her magic, as we call it, on the horses. And it really does make a difference. It's a noticeable difference. But yesterday's exercise will be you can see his muscles jumping. Now Levi will tell us where he has some pain. So if you'll see it in his eye, the way he carries his head, he may look back at Cindy, and the horses really guide Cindy in the use of this machine. And it's great for diagnosing where there is pain and soreness, and bring awareness to maybe an issue that the horse has that might not have been known. She will do the knees, the hocks, stifles, and it's amazing what the horses will tell you, and then we can act accordingly to help them out. Package and power.
Smile.
Yeah. You can go in, yep, and then make a circle, get your canter, okay? People have been going to the inside of 9 or the outside of 9. Sometimes the outside of 9 is a little spooky, so the inside of 9, make sure you've got your power, okay? So come through the turn with your power so you can just sit, hold it on your way down, okay? All right? Good. You can, but the judge is over here, so just wait for that whistle, okay? All right, hon, have a good round. Okay.
You just put him on your tongue.
That's Janine.
Happy-go-lucky and Adria Wenning finished the course in 1 minute, 1 second, posting a double clear show jumping round to finish the weekend. Honey Badger and Elizabeth Wilkinson also posted a double clear show jumping round. Next in the ring, we have entry number 115, Fair Play Bellissima and Claire Place. This pair are currently sitting in a tie for 7th place coming into show jumping in our novice rider B division.
Okay, and here we have Claire coming in at 7th, tied for 7th. Can't afford a rail here. She needs to organize her canter just a little bit better. But the pony is jumping really good. There we go. Adjusting her helmet. Combination. 1, 2, 3. That's the way she has to do it. Good. Come on, she's getting a little tired. Organize that canter. She's a little unorganized in her canter. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, clear. Woo! The pony's looking a little bit tired after cross country, but jumped well. So we've got 7th place, it looks like. And here we have presenting the awards, Dave and Sue Emmons. They're the proprietors and the organizer of this event, one of the organizers. And that is Sue Emmons presenting the awards, and David is holding all of the other ribbons. And they've lived on this property for 20-some years. And there's our Claire. Wonderful. And you can see her size difference from a lot of these other horses. She's a little one. Okay, yeah, so I'd come in and then get your canter, and before your turn, plenty of power, sit up tall through your inside waist. You know you're turning right, okay? So you make sure that you've got a nice bit of power here, because you got an oxer, you don't get ahead. Footing is a little deep, right? Okay. They're moving this in a little bit, so that's nice. You're sitting and you're looking at fence 2, okay? So we're moving off to fence number 2.
Second place prizes are sponsored by Michael S. Young of Realty Executives, who winner the 2013
So we walk the course the same way we do the cross country, so we know exactly the way we want to, the ground we want to follow. So Lily, you're going to sit up. Don't let yourself tip forward to the right and lean through your turn, okay? So anchor into your outside seat bone, sit up nice and tall through your inside waist. Here he's locked in on 2, and you are on to 3. All right? I hope they do this. Okay. All right, we've got our victory gallop that we're going to stop for, so we'll catch that. Woohoo! A lot of work and effort goes into this, so we like to cheer them on. They've done a job well done. Oh, we got a bucker here. A little too happy. Woohoo, Clary! All right. real happy guy. They get into it too. All right. Now we're off to fence 3. Okay. I didn't see this come down as much as you would think for the, you know, verticalness of it, but okay. So just holding that line, just not tipping that inside shoulder forwards and down, Lily, through that turn. Okay. You got this whole right hand bend. This everything's right to start. The big old right's almost a full circle here. Okay. So you're nice and tall, chest up, and yep, looking at your. I'd say look at their announcer's box. Okay. They're making it an oxer, but they're making it different. They're changing it into something pink and purple. Okay, you got a lot of room here. You know, sometimes that is. I wouldn't underestimate. They always make time a factor. Okay, so don't let him dilly-dally around, and you're always landing and fixing that canter right away. Land and fix that, power him up, and then so that you've got it coming into your turn, so that all you've got to do is sit and hold it on your way to the fence. Okay? I don't know what they're doing here. All right. Again, a little deep here, so you really need to help him balance up, okay? Because he's going to be bogging down. I think that was probably the problem with Belle. Yeah. Okay.
Just bring one. I'm gonna go get
4.
a white thing. White thing. We will need those cups. Below
So
or above it?
here's their official measurer to make sure that all the fences are of the appropriate height for the divisions. Okay, so they'll measure every fence here. They're changing this course right now for a beginner novice level.
You need flat cups for the...
Land and look and sit up and rebalance them. The footing is not quite so deep right here, but it looks like it gets deep in front of 5, and that's where everybody's been a little bit buried. They're backed off and they're buried. Okay, so you need to make sure that your shoulder stays up and that you.
I think I'm gonna actually try and push for a bigger spot.
But don't push with your shoulder, hon. Push with your leg, okay, and package him so that he jumps up and you're looking at your silo. All right. They're going to lower it. They're doing that now. Yep. And off to the left. This thing can sometimes I would expect him to take a peek at this. Okay? So be ready for a little double take on the wall. Okay? So sit tight, ride, don't get loose. All right? And on you go. He's got the out gate, which will help draw him. All right.
Right.
So that's a draw. This isn't. So don't you be looking down. You are looking at 7. Okay. All right. Now we've got some left-hand turns. Yep. Out you go. Footing is a little deep out here too. To a vertical. This has been riding pretty well too. Everything's been riding pretty well. Yep. Nope. So with your, right now, he's locked in, you're looking left. You're looking at 8A. Okay? Okay. Come on out to your middle poles line up, and there you are.
Straightness.
Straight, you got it. It's got to be straight.
He's gonna want to do a little.
Yep, wibble, wibble. Okay, puts in 3. Cody put in 3. Belle put in 3. He may put in 3. Sit tight for it. Don't push him for 2 and have him whack an oxer on the way out. Okay? These ponies are a little different than the big guys. All right, and the distance is pretty. So there's your perfect 2-stride. Okay. Yeah, yep.
It'll be tight.
Yep. All right. Landing sitting up. This is again a deep turn. Boggy ground, deep footing, okay? Help him. Yep. Yep. Outside rein tall through your inside waist. You can cut the corner. What's so nice about the ponies is they're handy. So you can show off his handiness. Then just don't let him run on down to the vertical. Okay? Right. Right. Okay. Vertical and finish line. And there's really no way to miss the start and the finish unless you're really trying to do something super fancy, which we're not here to do. Okay? So there are finish flags also that are mandatory to go through after the jump, and there are start flags also that you have to go through at the start. And then we have to acknowledge again our numerous volunteers, our organizer here to the left, Jennifer Merrick Brooks, and always in a working capacity. So glad to have you here at this special edition of Saddle Up and see what eventing is about. We've had a wonderful 2 days here. The horses have gone very well. Can't wait to see you again for the next edition of Saddle Up.
At Oakland County Parks and Recreation, we value what you value: family relationships, community connections, good health, environmental stewardship, and economic stability. Oakland County residents and businesses have invested in preserving nearly 7,000 acres of parkland. Since 1966, 13 parks and golf courses have been acquired, maintained, and improved. Oakland County parks and facilities are made possible by millage funds supported by Oakland County residents. For a home valued at $200,000, the homeowner pays less than $25 per year to support the Oakland County parks. With every generation, families create lifelong memories at Oakland County's award-winning parks. From exciting summer escapades and stories around the campfire to brisk fall walks on wooded trails and snowy winter outings, the outdoors beckons year-round. It's time to get up, get out, and get going at the Oakland County parks. Active recreation options abound. Cross-country ski or mountain bike on tree-lined trails. Scale the rock climbing wall. Get your kicks with soccer at several sports fields. Row or paddle a boat on 4 picturesque inland lakes. It's an easy journey. Most parks are just a short drive away. A quick tip: all our parks and golf courses end in Oaks. To find your favorite, just go to DestinationOakland.com.